studied abroad in China this past summer. It was pretty cool. I learned a lot, and I am making a video series on topics about studying abroad, living in China, and the logistics of it all, in case you're planning to travel to China yourself or just plain curious about this kind of stuff. Enjoy! Hello everyone, my name is Mallory, and today I'm going to be talking about apps I highly recommend you having on your phone while traveling in China. These apps are in no particular order, and disclaimer, I am not sponsored by any of them. I just think they're very, very useful, and I used a lot of them and think that you should definitely have some of them on you. Baidu Maps. Baidu Maps is kind of like the Google Maps of China. It's all in Chinese, of course, but it's a pretty solid navigation app. And I think that any sort of map navigation app is a must-have resource if you're traveling anywhere. AliPay. AliPay is a massive app that has a million things on it, but we mostly used it as a mobile payment app. We were able to link our Chinese bank accounts to AliPay, and thus once we had set that up, we could go around anywhere, and if we needed to buy something or pay for food, etc., we just whipped out our AliPay and scanned a QR code or had someone scan our QR code. And mobile payment is super, super easy in China. It just makes things simpler because everything's just on your phone and you have less to carry around with you. WeChat. WeChat can also be used as a mobile payment app. I think only like one person in our study abroad group was able to successfully link their bank account, their Chinese bank account, to their WeChat. So I don't know how well that would work for you. WeChat was a lot stricter with us and locked a lot of us out of our accounts while we were in China. It was odd. But you can use WeChat mostly, and this is what we mostly use it for, as a messaging app, although WeChat can also be basically used as any type of social media app, kind of like a Facebook. You can friend people, you can message people, you can have a whole sort of profile that you post updates to. I never used any of that, I just use it as a messaging app, but it also has cute fun games on it. You can do all sorts of things, it's got fun stickers, etc. WeChat is a huge app. It's also available outside of China, even though it is originally a Chinese app, and so I recommend you get it because it is the primary messaging app in China. Taobao. Taobao is basically the eBay of China. You can buy anything on Taobao. You can find anything on Taobao. Now, the authenticity of the products you are getting can definitely vary, especially if things look a bit too cheap or a bit too expensive for the item they are worth. I did not personally use Taobao, but a lot of people did order stuff off of Taobao. You can scroll through Taobao forever. You can search up anything on Taobao. It's pretty insane. So if you do want to do online shopping, Taobao is the way to go in China. Pleco. Pleco is an absolute must-have Chinese dictionary. The base dictionary, the base features are free, but you can pay for additional features, and if you are studying Chinese or you are serious about really trying to understand Chinese, I would highly recommend buying some of the extra features, such as the handwriting feature, where if you see a character and you don't know, you can select the handwriting keyboard option and literally write it. I also suggest buying the live OCR camera, where you can literally hold up your phone and it will live translate. That is super, super useful. You can also buy a function where you can scan a picture that you've taken and it will translate the Chinese in the picture for you, and that is really, really useful. It's a lot faster also than trying to handwrite characters into the app, so I highly recommend, if you can afford it and if you're interested, buying the add-on features within the Pleco dictionary. But as a base dictionary, Pleco is absolutely amazing. Google Translate. You will need a VPN to use Google Translate because Google is a Western site that China blocks. But if you have a working VPN on your device or on your computer, you can use Google Translate. It's not always accurate. There are some amazingly hilariously incorrect translations that come out of Google Translate, but it can be a really good tool to use to get the gist of what you want to say across when you are in a bind. Speaking of VPNs, your VPN service app. If you want to use sites like Google Translate, Facebook, Instagram, etc., you will need a VPN to connect to those sites because China blocks a lot of foreign sites. Why am I? I'm not sure if anyone on my study abroad trip used Waimai, but we had heard of it a lot, and it's a very, very big, well-known app that is basically a takeout delivery app. You can order food that can be delivered to you from a lot of the local places in your area where you are using the Waimai app. Dede. Dede is basically the Chinese Uber. That's literally it. Uber did exist in China briefly, but then Dede bought Uber, but it's exactly the same thing as Uber. Dede obviously does cost more than your public transportation does, but it is really good if you are in a pinch, if you're kind of lost, if you're stranded. We used it on occasion. I think we only took 2 Dedes, one when we actually were kind of lost, and another when we were coming back to the university after a whole day out, and we were not feeling riding transportation for a good 2 hours to get back, and we just thought, you know what, we'll pool our money, we'll get a Dede, and we'll get back that way. Your banking institution app. This includes your Western banking institution app, and if you set up a Chinese bank account, your Chinese banking institution app. This way you just can have your bank app on your phone, and therefore you don't have to always have to go to your laptop if you brought your computer with you. Lastly, and this is kind of related, kind of not, it really depends on your situation, Air China app. Purely because at the end of our study abroad trip, we're going home. We were in Qingdao, but we needed to get up to Beijing because from Beijing we would be taking our international flight back to the States. We were told that Air China was a pretty decent domestic airline, and we needed a specific time of flight in the morning to get us up to Beijing in time to make our afternoon international flight. We tried using the online website for Air China, but for some reason it just wasn't working for us. It was really frustrating. So then we took the chance, we downloaded onto our phones the Air China app, which gives you an English option, which is really nice, and was just easier to use. So if you are going to be flying Air China, we actually had a really smooth, good experience using the Air China app. That's why it's on this list. It probably doesn't pertain to many people, but it is just an app that was kind of vital to us literally getting back to Beijing, and it was a good experience using it. So those were just some apps that I think you should definitely have on you when you're traveling in China. That's all I have for this video, which is part of my Benjamin A. Gilman Scholarship Follow-On Service Project, since I did receive a scholarship that helps me afford studying abroad in China. If you are interested in studying abroad and are a university student, I recommend applying for a Gilman Scholarship to potentially help you afford studying abroad. I will leave a link to their website in the description box below. So with that, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. If you liked this video, give it a big thumbs up and share it wherever you see fit. And if you would like to continue seeing more videos from me in the future, just hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I will see you all in the next video, so in the meantime, stay fabulous.